Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Excellency to Kiai Haji Hasan Mutawakil Allah SHMM, respectable to Dr. Abdul Aziz Wahab BAMAG as the Director of Zainul Hasan Genggong University, and unforgettable to my beautiful lecturer, she is Miss Raudatul Islam. Before, allow me to have short introduction. My complete name is Nadia Nurwahyuni. Call me Nadia. I'm a student of English Education Department at Zainul Hasan Genggong University. In this video, I'm going to reduce the diagram next to me and I will explain starting from DELT. ELT stands for English Language Teaching. We can see in the diagram that ELT is divided into three, namely EMT, EFL, and ESL. The first is EMT, English as a mother tongue, is to make English the mother tongue, which means the first language used to communicate with children. The second is EFL, English as a foreign language, one of which is learning English by non-native speakers in countries where English is not the dominant language. The third is ESL, English as a second language, where English is not a mother tongue, but English is only an additional language, which is the practice of learning English in countries where the majority of the population speaks English. In DFL, English as a foreign language section, there are two parts, namely, the first is GE, General English, where English learning focuses more on general categories. The second is ESP, English for specific purpose. In this section, it is more dominant to focus on learning English according to specific knowledge and fields that are needed. ESL can also be divided in the same way as EFL. Focusing on ESP, English for specific purpose, there are two parts, namely, the first is EAP, English for academic purpose. In this case, learning in English aims to focus on the appropriate use of English in academics and studies. The second is EOP, English for occupational purpose. This includes English language learning programs as a communication tool in the professional fields in the workplace. In EAP, English for academic purpose, there are four parts, namely where we focus on learning English according to certain academic needs. In the first part, there is EST, English for Science and Technology. In the second part, there is EBE, English for Business Economics. In the third part of EMP, English for medical purpose. In the last section, other fields of academic studies, where there is one last part, namely ETP, English Tutorial Program, which is one of the programs carried out by LBAPU under the coordination of the head of the language learning development sector. Continuing, in the EOP, English for occupational purpose section, there are two parts. The first is EPP, English for professional purpose. In the context of learning English, we learn the jargon that we need to use and understand in our field of work. Just continue with EPP, there is one part, namely English for medical, legal, administrative, business, EBP, and other purpose. Just to learn what covers the above. The last step in this section is ETP, English Tutorial Program, which I explained earlier. The second is EVP, English for vocational purpose, where learning English for vocational purpose provides linguistic description related to the context of commerce and investigates how specific languages are used in their work context. Next, EVP English for vocational purpose has one part in the concept map, namely pre-vocational and vocational English, where the focus is on the use of pre-vocational skills, which are generally more basic and universal, while vocational skills are more specific to certain trades or professions. Next, the final step in this section is the ETP, English Tutorial Program, which is one of the programs carried out by LBAPU under the coordination of the head of the Language Learning Development Sector. Okay, that's all from me. The last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.